Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm the Bearded Baron, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you several tricks to make your life easier in Phasmophobia. I've had a lot of people come to me and ask me, what's the best way of being able to loop? What's the best way of being able to level? Find the ghost room, get evidence, not die during a hunt. This video is going to be covering all of those kind of questions, as well as some of the tips that I've learned in over 3,600 hours of Phasmophobia. So, if you like this video, please give it a like, share with a friend. For God's sake, hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps out the channel. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So, I'm going to keep this on professional because a lot of people play it on professional. Did we get Blood Moon? Please tell me we didn't get Blood Moon. That'd be funny for a video, wouldn't it? Ah, we got raped. I'm putting it on professional and I'm keeping my tier 3 equipment. If there is a video you would like to see with me using different equipment, let me know in the comment section below. So, the first tip that I give to a lot of people is let's figure out what we're here to accomplish, right? We need to find the ghost room, we need to find the cursed object, and we need to find the bone. Those are the 3 things that we need to find first, and we need to do that as quickly as possible because our sanity is going to be dropping this entire time. So, I'm going to bring in an EMF reader, a camera, and a flashlight. Now, if you are pretty good at this, or if you have access to a tier 3 night vision goggles, you don't need the flashlight. So the idea here is that we are going in, looking for the bone, looking for the cursed object, while we are kind of scanning through each room till we find the bone. We snap a photo of it, super quick, we're in and we're out. Now, tip number 2 that I'm going to be giving you, I heard something get thrown. Tip number 2 I'm going to be giving you is quite simple. It is learn to listen to your environment. Now, the ghost, once you know what the individual sounds of the ghost tossing something, moving something around, I'm not even sure what it actually could have thrown inside here, if it did, but it's likely inside this room. So we're gonna drop that down. But once you learn what the ghost, what a thrown object actually sounds like, and here we go. We got another activity. So this is the ghost room. So we're doing really good. We found the ghost room and we found the bone almost immediately, and that's great. But being able to hear for the ghost and the objects being thrown is absolutely amazing. Right? We've got already, we've got the ghost room. Excuse me. We've got the ghost room, we've got the bone, and we've got the cursed object all within a small amount of time. So we're going to drop all of this kind of stuff off. Plus, we even have the power on, which is absolutely amazing. So, tip number 1. Try to find the bone, the cursed object, and the ghost room first. Those should be your first 3 things. Secondly, learn to listen for the ghost messing with the radio, touching a door, throwing an object, anything along those lines, right? Like we had it touch the door or touch the light over here and it messing with the radio. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is as you were going around, if you notice, I even did this at the beginning of the match, we shut doors. Shut every single door behind you. If you're playing with a team, get them into the habit of shutting doors. The reason being is that let's say that we heard a door get opened and this door was slightly ajar and every other door was completely closed. We would know that the ghost had moved in this activity without actually even being able to see it. So finding the ghost room, especially when you don't hear anything right away, is really, really good. Now that we're out, and we'll check our sanity here while we do this. But while we are out, we are also going to take a look. We're at 86% sanity. Now, I stayed in there for even longer than what we could have. We probably could have gotten out with like 95% sanity. Absolutely amazing, right? Tip number 4 is keep an eye on your sanity. Anything that normally above 50%, you're fine with for the most part, right? There's obviously some exceptions to the rule. But as long as we stay north of 50%, we're fine. Now that we know what the ghost is, I'm going to bring in what I like to call the items that I can set it and forget it. What that means is I'm going to bring in a camera. That'll check for orbs. I'm going to bring in dots. That'll check for dots, obviously. And I'm going to bring in a ghostwriting book for ghostwriting. The reason being is because I can run in, drop all this equipment off, and then immediately head right back out. And I can check it from the van. So we have orbs. That's awesome. You can also now record that kind of stuff too, which is really, really great with the Chronicle update. So I'm going to set down the book right on the table here. We're going to turn off that flashlight just so it's easier to be able to see. And we're right back out to the van. Now, the next tip that I can give you as well is never bring anything back to the van. You will notice that my inventory is always empty. I will either drop it all off, or we will set it down, or I will just simply drop it at the door before we come back. Being way more efficient. This even includes flashlights. This is way more efficient because this allows you to bring 3 items every single time that you make a trip back out to the van. Okay, so now we can check on the camera here. Oh, it turned on the light, so it kind of ruined our night vision for us. But as you can see, we can tell for ghost writing from here, from the safety of the van, or sanity is not dropping. We can tell for dots from the safety of the van, or if you have a van princess, that they can be doing this during this time frame. All right, now I'll bring another layer of gear, right, which is my spirit box, my freezing temps, and my fingerprints, right? This is also going to be checking for it. Now, another thing that we could do is we can actually swap this out and bring in assault. Why? Because a lot of times the ghost, if it does not want to interact with its environment, you can kind of force footprints to see if the ghost gives you any kind of footprints, any kind of UV activity. Plus, in my experience, it takes it a little bit longer for it to realize that the room is cold enough for freezing. And it's one of those things that once you get freezing, you'll always have freezing, so it's not that big of a thing. Now we've checked for UV. We're not getting any kind of UV, so now we're gonna check over here for Spirit Box. Where are you? Where are you? How old are you? Nice. Now, we got Spirit Box, which is great for a piece of evidence, right? We've got Spirit Boards, or Ghost Orbs and Spirit Box. Ah, I missed it. I went to go grab my camera, and instead I grabbed a bottle. Let me move that bottle out of the way. That brings me to my next tip, okay, is that always make sure that you know where your camera is located, so that way, if in the event that you get a quick timed event like that, then you can run in really quickly, you can snap a photo, and try to get it. Obviously, I screwed up there because I went to grab it and we grabbed a bottle instead, but there have been many a times when you can get quick timed events like that, or when you're inside the house and you're kind of just walking around for a minute, keep your camera on you, and keep the video camera now, so that way if you do get an event, you could see that. Now, we're going to take a look here. EMF 5 doesn't give us anything. Now we can check to see what gear that we can bring in, right? So we can bring in dots still, we can bring in ghost writing, we could also do freezing temps. And that would be absolutely great. We don't have ultraviolet, so that eliminates out anything that we would have seen. But as you can see, bringing in EMF 5 or EMF readers is not going to do anything for us. So those kind of things you can check in the van without dropping down your sanity. I'm going to try to do this without taking any kind of sanity meds whatsoever. So we're going to bring in crucifix. I'm going to bring in another dots, and we're going to bring in the thermometer as well. And we're going to head back in. You notice we're in, we're out, right? I know that this room is right by the front door, but that's completely just RNG for the purposes of the video. But this will help you guys to just be able to see how exactly that, a professional does these kind of things. What kind of things go through my mind when we're trying to find a ghost room as quickly as possible. A lot of times we do this with, like, no evidence runs. And a lot of times we try to do speed runs with these. So I try to do these as fast as possible. Now, the only thing that I do normally keep with me here is we have our lighter. Now, the reason why we got our lighter is because it doesn't take up an inventory slot. And trying to find your lighter on the floor when the ghost is hunting is kind of miserable. Now, for the Chronicle update, a lot of people are having issues with different Chronicle events happening, getting those recorded. So I'm going to show you guys some of the best tips and tricks that I have for being able to figure out being able to get that stuff. Oh, that's awesome. We've got dots. So this is a yokai. So perfect for the purposes of the video. We've got a very talkative ghost, or a ghost that will hunt off of talks. Now I've got tier 2 motion sensor. We're also going to put down. Oh, we got a recording here. Hold on. See if we can grab this real quick before it goes away. Nice. We got the recording. Now, the recordings, my tip for the recordings, especially when you're using tier 3, is that you want to use, you want to keep it just on, right? You can cycle back and forth between it, but when it's on here or even when it's on the floor, keep it on. So that way it'll help you to be able to pick it up when you need it. These sound events are very quick, so it's much better to just have that on and have that ready than to wait. So, because we've got Spirit Box, we can also pick this up on the Spirit Box or on the Ghost Sensor, sound sensor as well. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Owl. There we go. So we got Spirit Box response, which is exactly what we wanted, which is great. Now what we can do is we can grab, based off of, we're going to put down 1 salt here, and we're going to hit record. Now, I pair up my motion sensors with my salt. So I'll even do this with a light source, like a candle or a firelight of some kind. So that way, if the ghost decides to, most of the time, if it decides to step in the salt, it will also trigger the motion sensor, and then you can also blow out a firelight. All of those things can be recorded on the video camera, so it's good to stack them all up into one area so that way you can get them as quickly as possible. The other thing as well... is that by keeping on the sound sensor, you'd be surprised on how many times that stuff just randomly pops up here, and it turns out really easy to be able to capture stuff. Now, I'm going to try to get a dots ghost here. I don't know if it's actually going to work or not. This is an extremely small room, but we're going to try. Now, all the while, I will say that I know that my sanity is dropping. That is one thing that you want to make sure that you're taking care of. If it is something, if you are new to the game, if you are concerned about it hunting. Nice. Oh, see, I didn't have my camera on me. And I tried to get dots there, and we couldn't get the dots there. That kind of sucks. And we still got the shadow ghost form, so that's good. Oh, I got the dots. Let's go. That's really hard to get. Now, we have all of our media coverage, with the exception of our photos, which is totally fine. Right? I've got a couple of ideas for this as well to make it super easy. One of which is the EMF reader. The other one that we're going to be utilizing as well is the crucifix, and we're going to try to get that dots photo again. Now, the next tip that I have for you guys is that I like to make sure that from whatever room that I'm investigating to whatever area that I want to hide at is well lit. That's for me. That's my own personal feelings behind it. I think that during a hunt, being able, trying to figure out which way that the doors are open or closed, is not the time to do it. You want to do that ahead of time. Speaking of which, if you prefer to hide while you're investigating, is a perfect time for you to be able to find hiding places. Now, I will say this. I think, in general, that you should focus more of your time learning hiding places that work regardless of what level you're on versus utilizing doors, or I'm sorry, the closets or other lockers, other kind of like given hiding places. Because as you progress in Phasmophobia, you're going to end up in situations where you don't have the lockers available. You don't have the lockers available. You don't have closets available. So you need to figure out these other areas. So I'm going to show you guys a few areas that I really like. Now, with the exception of one spot on this side of the house. Oh, he went fast. I tried to get that photo fast. It like turned right there and then disappeared. That sucked. So with the exception of this one spot over here in the nursery, right? A lot of people will hide behind this area, but you notice that it's blocked off. This area right here, this spot right here to the side, works just as well. I know that it looks like it doesn't, but it does. Works just as well. With the exception of that, pretty much this entire side of the house, including the master bedroom, don't hide it. You just want to avoid it like the plague. I wonder if I can get that. I did get it. That's actually the first time that I've gotten that photo. I know that when it lifts an object into the air that you can capture a photo of it. So I'm really kind of excited that we got it there. I was starting to believe that you couldn't actually get that, but you can. Whoa. I'll take it. The ghost event seems so abrupt these days. So now we've got all of our actual recordings that we needed. So now we're going to prepare for what I like to call the hunt, right? Now we have a repel the ghost while it's chasing somebody with an incense, right? Now this can be done one of two ways. This can either be done to try to loop the ghost, or this can be done to avoid the ghost entirely. If your goal is to avoid the ghost entirely, then what I recommend that you do is something along the lines of waiting for it to show up, or waiting for it to hunt. Not like that. But waiting for it to hunt, smudge it as it comes around the corner here, smudge it, run inside, run into a locker, and hide in the locker, if that's what you want to do. Like I said, again, I don't think that it's a good idea for you guys to go towards those lockers. What you want to do instead is utilize something that professionals use. One of the things that we use here is the kitchen island. The ghost cannot see you if you are crouched down. The ghost cannot see you above this. You can see the ghost, but the ghost cannot see you in this scenario. This is a great way of being able to break a line of sight. This is where a lot of people try to loop the ghost. You can smudge the ghost and then loop it back around here, and you can hide behind this. Another kind of great spot that you can use is back over here in this corner. Right? This is another good spot. Just because of the pathing of the ghost most of the time. Now, if the ghost does come back over this way, you are cooked. Which is why probably the best spot on Tanglewood to loop a ghost is around this kitchen island. Now, I did say that we'd cover over everything else. So, if you want to learn how to loop, right, we'll start here on this kitchen island. Because this is a pretty big kitchen island. A lot of people play Tanglewood. The first thing that you're going to want to do is Ghosty, don't blow out the light. Thank you. First thing that you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to make sure that you hug the island as much as possible. Now, there is one exception to this, and this is the trash can. If you hug it too close to this trash can, you are going to get stuck. The ghost will catch you, and you will get killed. But if you try to hug around this as best as possible, what happens is that the ghost, because it gets line of sight speed on you, it actually becomes worse at turning the faster it gets. So what that means is that if you have like a Revenant, especially on like a 150 speed, and I'm sure you guys have seen this before, where you can have a player that can loop the ghost around nothing. They just sit there and absolutely just loop the ghost over and over and over and over again. And that is largely because the ghost has sucked so badly at being able to turn fast enough that you can pull that off. Now, in a normal game, I'm going to say under most circumstances, unless you pull this off perfectly, you're not going to be able to 100% be able to loop the ghost. But you can still loop it like I'm going to show you here, right? So we want the ghost to be able to see us, right? We're bringing it around here, and then we're just going to hug. We're just going to hug this area as best as possible. I'm not using my sprint, but very sparingly, right? And then when the ghost gets too close, we can smudge. If we want to break away, we can duck down here, or the hunt is over. So we pretty much had survived most of the hunt. If I had timed out my sprinting a little bit better, it would have been better. Now, this is another tip that I would give you that you can't really see all too often is that we space out our sprinting, right? We talked about that for a little bit here, and that is basically, if I come over here and I'm all the way back against this wall and I go to sprint, I make it to about right around here before we run out of juice, right? And then you have to wait a couple of seconds for you to be able to get that back again. Now, if I time it out and we get little sprints out of it, you will notice that I get way more of these little speed boosts before we actually run out of stamina. So the big takeaway here is just spacing them out, only using it when you need to. If you notice that the ghost is getting a little too close on one side, you hit that sprint button for a little bit, just so that way you can kind of extend it out as long as possible. Again, you don't have to do this, right? This is if you want to get better, if you want to impress your friends, if you want to get that girl in your life that you've been looking for, or guy in your life, right? This is the way to do it. This is everybody knows that if you impress people with your Phasmophobia skills, you're gonna get lucky. But yeah, so that is repelling the ghost. You know, we got all of the secondary objectives. We got all of the media photos as well. Ghosty, will you just give me a second? The other thing that I will say is as well is, and I can make a full in-depth guide on this. So if you like this so far, if you found it informative so far, again, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. But to tell the difference between an event and a hunt, right? Now, we know with a hunt, the big thing that you're going to be wanting to listen for is the door shutting, the door locking, and then the ghost will manifest after that. If the ghost immediately manifests like it did there for the shadow form against us, or if it's standing there stationary with a red light event on, or if it just moves, if it just spawns and immediately moves towards you, all of those kind of things are just events. They're not hunts, right? What we want to look for with a hunt is that the door shuts, you can hear the door lock, and then be able to leave. So, trying to keep this video relatively short. Hopefully you guys found this video informative. Let me know what your favorite tip was with all this, or if I sucked at the tips, let me know that too. I would love to know. But I appreciate you guys watching. We will have more videos like this for you guys. You are loved and valued. I'll see you in the next one.